If you enjoy these videos, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please join us live. We're live every evening, usually after 4 p.m. CST. We'll see you soon.
Not that I heard someone was in here about me, so.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull you up on the panel. That was actually going on right now.
Why?
Jail?
Because you're a piece of shit. And you have nothing viable to say, nothing valid to say. And the only purpose that you will ever serve that is positive will be the grass you fertilize one day. So there's no point to you.
I thought you were bitching because I rescheduled the debate or something.
No, not at all.
No.
That was something Taco was dealing with.
About that, brought it up, and then he started going ham there.
No, that was something that Taco was dealing with on the back end.
Yeah. We got
so
to
it's
take care of
just,
it, and then he went ham there. But
so it's just like the normal liberal, you're a piece of shit, horrible fascist shit, just that stuff.
You assume I'm
really?
liberal?
Well, I don't know why else you would call me a piece of shit.
Do I have to be liberal to call you to say you're a piece of shit?
Usually it's liberals who say I'm a piece of shit, yeah.
So it's a composition fallacy.
Well, we're not having an argument. We're comparing emotional states right now, right?
Right, because you're just jumping in with assumptions when I'm just calling you out for your rhetoric and the shit that you espouse. You're a piece of shit.
Oh, that's fair. So are you a liberal?
Does it matter if I am?
Yeah, can you answer my question? Are you a liberal?
Does it matter if I am? Is that what this is about? Is it about politics, or is it about like literally your behavior?
Why? I don't know why you won't answer the question.
Because the question is irrelevant. You wanting to push the conversation into a particular direction. You're wanting to push the conversation into a particular.
Do we have a debate prompt?
You're wanting to push the conversation. You're wanting to push the conversation. You're wanting to push the conversation into a particular direction. It's completely irrelevant. I'm not falling for your bullshit, Andrew.
Answer the question.
I'm not falling for your bullshit, Andrew.
Are you a liberal?
I'm not falling for your bullshit.
So you're liberal. Okay, got it.
No, I who said I was?
Well, I'm going to assume because you won't answer the fucking question.
I don't need to because it's fucking irrelevant because I'm not falling for this bullshit.
Irrelevant to what? What is irrelevant to?
It's irrelevant to me criticizing your fucking character.
Oh,
You're hypocritical nonsense bullshit.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what then. As we go through this, even though I'm pretty much positive you're a liberal, tell me why it is I'm a piece of shit.
You know why.
Okay. Oh, now I know why too.
The shit that you've espoused, your hypocrisy, the shit that you've espoused on your show.
Yeah, what hypocrisy?
When you called out, when Charlie threw your hypocrisy back in your face and you immediately flipped the table and started playing pigeon chess and attacking her sexuality.
Wait. What hypocrisy?
Do I really need to repeat the comments about your wife?
Yeah, how is that hypocritical?
Because you espouse things that are against the very life that you lead.
Like what?
You're telling me you don't chastise people for engaging in the behavior that you engage in?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Got an example? Any example will do.
So when Charlie pointed out to you the state of your relationship, you didn't freak out and start attacking her sexuality because she was simply pointing the truth to you, and you interpreted her, and you interpreted her point, and you interpreted her point. No, it's not a pivot. You interpreted the truth being thrown at you, and you took her throwing the truth at you as shit talking you.
Yeah, what's the hypocrisy though?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I'm fucking serious. What's the hypocrisy?
The fact that you chastise people for doing the things that you fucking do.
Okay, can you show me an example of that?
Yes, the life you lead, the relationship with your wife and your kids.
Okay, when do I chastise people for being step-parents? Ever.
That is not what it is. It's chastising men who do what you do.
When?
You are a hypocrite.
When?
It was pointed out to you.
When?
Charlie pointed it out to you.
Yeah, can you point it out to me? When have I ever done it?
And you
when have I done it?
Out like you're spurging out now.
Can you tell me when I've done this?
You immediately crashed out like Windows 98.
Can you tell me when I've done
threw her
this?
sexuality in her face because it's the only thing you got.
Can you show me where I've ever done that? Ever?
I have to pull up the clips of you doing it.
Then pull them up.
I don't need to.
Because you don't have them because you're lying.
My opinion, I'm not lying.
You're a liar.
Then whatever.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, show me. Show me where I've ever said
prove I'm
that
fucking
being
lying.
a step parent is bad, or that
I never said that you said that. I never said that you said that.
Then what? Then
I said that
What's the hypocrisy?
You criticizing men for getting with women who have multiple kids from multiple dads.
It's never happened once.
Attacking guys who stick their dicks in sluts.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you $1,000 right now if you can give me a single example of me ever doing that. I'll give you $2,000. $3,000. You want $3,000 right now? $3,000.
Fucking money.
Yeah, because you're lying. You're a liar.
Sure. I'm a liar. You can't prove that I'm not.
What do you mean? What? It's your burden of proof. You're the one calling me a hypocrite.
Piece of shit, and you're a hypocrite.
For being a hypocrite. Piece of shit
and you're a hypocrite.
Yeah. What's the hypocrisy?
I've seen the shit you've pulled in your debates. It's not impressive.
What's the hypocrisy?
Charlie already pointed out to you. We've all seen the clip.
Yeah, well, you haven't shown me what the hypocrisy is.
We only need to go to the clip where Charlie pointed out to you.
Yeah, go to the clip.
Freaked out.
Yeah, but what was the hypocrisy? She conceded there was no hypocrisy. You didn't watch the whole thing.
Yes, I did.
Audience,
well, you better watch it again.
Hang on. Let's avoid muting Andrew in jail while they're hashing this thing out. And there are a couple.
There's nothing to hash out.
So.
Yeah, you're a liar. That's all.
You're a piece of shit.
That's it. Just lying.
I don't give a shit what you think of me. You're a piece of shit.
For what though? What did I do that's so bad?
I do need to read through these real fast. And then DeFreak was asking, Andrew, define Christian nationalism. Thank you.
No thanks. I want to know how I'm a hypocrite.
And then Gretchen, I put the details in the chat for you. It'll be on Monday. And then I think Gretchen actually super chatted something there. She said that you denigrated her for being lesbian because she brought up the fact that you don't live by the rules you preach, is what she says.
Yeah, but what rules am I preaching that I'm not living by? That's the problem. She is a lesbian.
Like the general vibe I get from videos I watch.
Oh, your general vibe.
Comment sections I read on the whatever podcast is that the impression the audience is getting, at least, is that you're not in favor of low value women who have lots of baby daddies and, kids from different men and are promiscuous and stuff like that. So it does seem.
What are you talking about? It's never happened once. You guys just make it up. Just made it up. Just like she did.
Sure thing, bud.
Yeah, you got a clip. You got a clip of me ever doing that one time, telling people that they can't marry people that have children from previous relationships.
I don't know if you specifically have ever said that stuff. I just said that's what I see in comments is people saying things like, "Oh, they owned this low value woman."
Well, first of all, just so you let's hang on. Let me clarify a couple things for you. Yeah. Let me clarify a couple things for you because there's something that gets conflated all the time when you're having conversations about dating, especially between red pillars, because I get conflated with red pillars all the time. I have no idea why, but I do. When they're talking about low value or high value, they're not talking about ontology. They're not talking about whether or not a person is valuable. They're just talking about their value in the dating market. So if you have children already and you're looking for a new relationship, that's going to lower your value in the dating market. It doesn't make you a less valuable person. Do you understand the distinction? When they say high value, low value, that's what they're talking about. They don't mean you're a less valuable person because you have children. They're saying you're less valuable in the dating market.
I agree that having, more than one child or more than one partner in your past doesn't lower your value as a person. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're talking about the dating market, and it's the same thing with age or if you're fat or things like those are all things that are going to lower your value in the dating market. It doesn't lower your value as a person. And so what the kind of great conflation that happens is people go, well, you said that woman's a low value woman. No, that's not what they're saying at all. They're saying that if you have expectations which are unreasonable over what your general value will be in the dating market, then you should probably abandon those expectations. That's it. It's the whole position.
Andrew, how would you parse out the difference between making a value judgment about someone within the dating market?
It's a generality. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I would say, what would you say the difference was between valuing someone within the dating market and valuing them as a person per se?
Well, I mean, you would just say, like, let's take Brad Pitt versus Andrew Wilson. Do you agree a lot more women would want to date Brad Pitt than Andrew Wilson?
Most probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's how. Hang on. Andrew Wilson. That's how we would value it, just like that.
Austin.
You would just say you're just looking at how many potential partners are available to you for choice, and if there's less potential partners available to you for choice based on, you're fat or you're ugly or you have lots of kids or whatever it is, then your value in the dating market is lesser than somebody who doesn't have those features.
Okay, so how does that differ from valuing someone as a person then?
Well, what does that have to do with? They could be just swell and awesome and doing nothing wrong and great people, but that doesn't mean that lots and lots of people want to date them. That's the distinction.
Okay, so it's just about desirability then.
Yeah, of course. That's all high value, low value means. And so what happens is critics, especially red pill critics, they know that they can play on the emotions of people who don't do any research, like our friend over here who is just trashing me for hypocrisy I've never made. And so what they do is they take that low value, high value thing and they start assigning it to to people themselves, saying they're saying that person's low quality, that person's scum, or that person's not desirable by anybody. And that's not the case at all. And it never has been.
So you would say that they are conflating moral value with desirability?
Not just moral value. They're not even saying you're not desirable. They're just saying that you're going to be less desirable than, Brad Pitt, Andrew. You're going to be less desirable than him in the dating market. You don't have a six-pack of abs and you're not a billionaire, right? And you don't have blonde hair and blah, 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 blah. That's it.
Yeah, these are all highly subjective though, aren't they?
Of course, but there is something to be said about some kind of shared ideal of a beauty standard, because most women think Brad Pitt's good looking, like it or not. You can say it's subjective, and I can say, sure, it's subjective. There are some women who don't think Brad Pitt's good looking, but most of them seem to.
Well, I appreciate your answers, and please forgive me if this becomes, well, I've heard this and you going, no, that's not correct at all. But what's your position on women having the right to vote? Are you in favor of women having the right to vote or against it?
Not really in the favor of anybody having the right to vote. I'd like to go back to our founding system. I thought that was way better.
Oh, that's wild.
Can I ask you a question about?
Yeah, but hang on. I want to stay here for just a second. Right on this. Does anybody have actually a single complaint about what I just said? Is there anything that I just said that's confusing or seems wrong, or does it make total sense?
I think you'd have to explain the history of what you think the founding.
Yeah, no, I would definitely disagree big time. I think I'm largely in favor of a democratic approach to government.
No, not the government shit, dude. I'm talking about dating, the dating stuff.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah. No, not necessarily. I won't say I completely agree either, but I understand there are dynamics to how people choose mates for sure. That's just a part of evolution and natural
so most of these dating shows, what they do, what they're diving into is what is it that women seem to prefer and men seem to prefer in women, right? And so that's what they're diving into. Now, when you talk about high value, low value, stuff like that, that's what they're talking about. They're just talking about the qualities in the dating market that are going to make you preferable to the most amount of potential mates. That's it. And so where this idea comes from of hypocrisy, that gets assigned to me because there are people who say that if you're a step parent or something like this, or you don't marry a virgin or this type of thing, that chick's a slut, she's a skank, she's a this, she's a that. But that's all garbage that's assigned to me. It has nothing to do with me. You know, like I don't know why it gets assigned to me because I happen to be on those same shows, but I argue from a Christian ethic. I don't argue from a red pill standard at all. So I've never actually understood that. And anytime I put a person to the question and ask them for an example of this supposed hypocrisy, just like I did Charlie, they come up short because there isn't any.
I think there are some things that give people the impression you're kind of red pill. Like, I think you went pretty hard on Tomi Lahren, like saying that she's not right-wing enough. It seems kind of red pill, right?
No. Tomi Lahren has, so the entire idea
really?
there.
She's like right-wing as hell, dude. She's super Republican.
Do you want me to explain that situation?
Yes, please go ahead. I'm just incredulous.
Nobody was attacking Lauren for right wing or not right wing. They were attacking her for the idea that, like many women, especially online content creators who are females, right? They tend to come at things from a position of female privilege, and they don't even know that they're doing it. And so they are usually assigned in the right anyway with what's called covert feminism. The idea is, and Tomi Lahren said it best herself, men are just ontologically wired to give us shit, to give women stuff. And they don't really deserve anything in exchange for that. That was her point. So, yeah, that's, I would consider that
blows my mind, the claim that Tomi Lahren might be a secret feminist. She does not seem like a feminist to me.
Well, it depends on how you parse out what feminism is, and it depends on how you define it. You know, it's people seem to conflate feminism with woke culture, and that's not what it is.
I see feminism as a sociological theory. It's like a sub-branch of conflict theory almost.
Well, all feminism is a struggle to remove patriarchy and create egalitarianism and equity for women. That's what it is.
And there's a couple of super chats. Gretchen said, it's the alpha male culture you're part of. Andrew, not just dating. I think in response to something you said a moment ago, you profit from it and seem to enjoy it. She asks, you're going to pretend you're not feeding into it?
Yeah, I don't even know what alpha male culture is. Many, many times when I've been live on these shows, when the alpha male thing comes up, I expressly explain that I reject alpha hierarchies because they don't exist within humanity and never have, and that was all based on flawed studies of wolves. I've said this, I don't know how many times, on how many different dating panels, and explained this. What happens is you see clips of women being particularly nasty to me and me being nasty back to them. But for some reason, they can be horrible to me. I'm just never allowed to defend myself. Like this guy that I came in here, he's talking all kinds of smack, right? Has no idea of what my positions are, calls me a hypocrite, can't point out the hypocrisy. But I'm not allowed to ever be upset about that, right? People are just allowed to talk as much smack as they want. I'm just never allowed to say anything back.
Well, Andrew, the discussion that we were having before you came was, should you in particular be platformed on any channel like this, or people who espouse the views that you do? And then we were split about whether you should be platformed or you should not be platformed. Is there anyone that you would not platform? You would say that this person's views are completely beyond the pale. I don't even want to talk to them.
I don't know, like probably some Muslim terrorist or something.
Yeah, sure. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'm sure there's probably some people who would advocate for some forms of terrorism or something that I probably wouldn't platform. Yeah.
Yeah. So you agree on principle that there are some people that ought not to be platformed?
I didn't say that. You see how you have two different positions there. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be platformed. You asked me if there's anybody I wouldn't platform.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Because those are two different positions. I can say I'm not telling people who they can or can't platform, that people shouldn't be platformed would have nothing to do with whether or not I feel I should platform them.
But you would say that it is sometimes right to not do that, to not platform somebody, because you yourself would do it.
I mean, it's well within anybody's purview to not platform anybody they don't want to platform. It's their platform.
Yeah, I agree. They've got the prerogative to do what they like with their own platform. It's just whether you would like it to be the case that anybody should be not platformed in that way, or that sometimes it's okay to not platform people.
Generally, I think it's a bad idea to not give people platforms because you can't challenge their shitty ideas.
I agree.
And so what they do is they go and they build different platforms, and then they are completely unopposed. Why do you guys think Nick Fuentes is one of the biggest streamers in the world right now? It's because the left did that. Left did it. They deplatformed him off everything and then said, "Go build your own then, Nazi." And he did. That's what he did.
Andrew, JL said he wouldn't debate you, but he would meet you in the octagon for a mixed martial arts match. Are you interested in that at all?
Oh, you want to beat up an old man? Does that make you feel good about yourself? He's going to beat up an old man?
No. I think it was just like.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. My best friend's a trained MMA fighter, and you can fight him. And then that guy can fight the next guy who's bigger and tougher than him. And then that guy can fight the next guy who's tougher than him. And that guy can fight that guy who's tougher than him, et cetera, into infinity.
Right. Yeah.
So, just stupid.
Andrew, can I ask you a couple questions?
I mean, if they're related to how it is that I'm a hypocrite, yeah.
Well, I guess one is, can I ask you about you were talking about desirability of like mates that have, you or let's just say you would hold the opinion that someone would lose desirability if they like had behaved recklessly prior and had, say a child from another person. And I know that that's not like a hard line that you're holding or anything.
Well, hang on. They would. So yes, as far as mates, like less in general, less people of the opposite sex would desire based on X, Y, and Z. That's a fair assessment. Yeah.
So I would just I guess if say one of those things was the case for a person, and you had other like values that you're weighing against like these certain things that are a true description of their life or history. Is there something like you could give me an example of that would outweigh something like that, or like maybe give me a trait that's undesirable and how it could be outweighed by another?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, I mean, there's like an infinite number almost. For instance, really ugly guys, they tend to bank on humor. That seems to help them quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So they can kind of supersede their, them not being particularly good looking with the fact that they're really funny. Another thing is wealth can do this. That can be a trait which people look for. Or the trait of being able to gain wealth anyway can be a trait that can bypass things for certain people. You know what I mean? Like, I'll look past the fact that he's a little chubby because he's a good provider. So there's all sorts of things which will supersede things. Same thing. You can have a single mom, and a single mom may have other desirable traits. Like, for instance, she's focusing more on adult things and her kids rather than the party scene. And so there's various things which can offset these things. It depends on what a person's looking for.
Okay.
And real fast, there are a few super chats. I want to get through those real fast. Gretchen says, also, Nobody on Fire was also asking a question and was rudely interrupted. Thank you for the super chat, Gretchen. Greatly appreciated. And then
Gretchen's the tone police.
Hayden says, a YouTube channel is a platform. Platforming is when you allow someone to talk without critiquing them. Great point, Hayden. Thank you so much for the super chat. And then fuck it button. It's clear these people see clips and build narratives in their own minds that are completely detached from reality. Would it be sad if it wasn't tiring? Thank you for the super chat. I think that guy is. Yeah,
it's true. They do. They build whole narrative structures in their minds about you, and none of it's even true. And if they took 5 minutes to go look, they'd know it's not true. But it's just I think it's just way more fun to hate people, though. Honestly, it's just way more fun.
And then Jessica asks, so Andrew is just spreading insult talking points, and we're meant not to think that he's utterly repulsive beyond measure. That's kind of mean, but would you like to respond to that? She had another one too.
What did I say she actually disagrees with? I hear this a lot.
I guess she's saying she thinks your points are incel talking points.
Yeah, I know. But what's funny is, like, if they are, then she should disagree with them, right? So, but the thing is like, first of all, I don't think that when they say incel talking points, they even mean anything. Incel to them is just some broad insult. There's no incel ideology, right?
So,
and then there was one last one. She also said, I keep degrading and patronizing women in public, and for some crazy, mysterious reason, women keep getting upset at me. Wow, what a pathetic crybaby. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate it. And
that's pretty typical to move the goalposts, right? It's like Andrew can be attacked. Andrew's not allowed to attack because poor women. Because the poor woman, I mean, she didn't even do anything except to act like an obnoxious bitch and go out of her way to try to attack somebody, and so they get hit back, and then suddenly it's, oh my God, how could you do that? Yeah, fuck that. And by the way, when you're on the subject of platforming, let me point something out. I'm platforming all of you. You're teeny weeny, teensy teeny tiny creators. So if you go on, if I'm on a platform with you, you're the ones being enhanced in your message, not mine. And so I think people miss that when they're talking about platforming. They're like, you shouldn't platform that giant creator. It's like, you're not.
And that was one
that giant creator. That giant creator is platforming you.
Yeah, and I am for free speech for the most part. I mean, there are minor limitations like language and platform rules and stuff, right? But for the most part, I want free speech, and I want these discussions where people can have these debates and the best debaters on both sides, right? And there was some opposition, and I understand some of the concerns and whatnot, but I also pointed out that there are plenty of people that come on here that admit to doing horrible things, and we sit there and debate their ideas, right? The goal here is to attack ideas, not the people, right? And generally, I think we do a pretty good job.
Yeah, so you got a bunch of leftists then, because they're the only ones who are ever complaining about that. They're the only ones who are ever like, you can't have that guy on. That guy's a Nazi. He's a Nazi and a fascist. Oh my God, he wants to take away everyone's rights. It's always leftists. So if somebody's complaining and saying you're not doing responsible platforming, I'm 1,000% sure they're leftists.
I think it's about 50-50, right? I mean, there were some people saying no, some people saying
bullshit.
Yeah.
Show me a right winger.
Legitimately about 50-50.
Show me a right winger that's like, no, don't platform Andrew. I actually want to see one.
Well, okay. What I wanted to ask is, you realize?
Hang on. Before we get into that, though, can you show me a right winger that said to you, "Don't platform Andrew"?
No, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
That won't platform left wingers.
Yeah, I don't think a right winger did, Andrew.
Yeah, because it's always lefties who do that shit.
Well,
just always.
Why would they?
I've never seen right wingers advocate for that shit.
If they agree with you, why would they deplatform you?
You mean not platforming? Well, I mean, almost. So I debate with leftists who are much smaller creators than me all the time. You agree that that's platforming them, right?
Well, yeah, you're giving them access to your audience.
Yeah. So I don't. What you're saying there is just pure nonsense. Right wingers do this way more than left wingers do. So the Hassan Pikers of the world who can't debate were the shit who use it as a cope because they know they get wrecked in debates.
Andrew, would you say that there's a difference between censorship and platforming?
Sure.
Yeah. Would you say that maybe the right is more keen on censorship?
No.
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 Would you have a debate with a Holocaust denier?
Sure.
And you are not yourself a Holocaust denier, but you would debate that settled historical fact with them?
Sure.
But why, though?
Well, here's the thing. I just got done explaining it, but I'll explain it again. Do you think that Nick Fuentes is a Holocaust denier?
Almost certainly.
I think he's an
okay.
idiot.
Gotcha. Do you also agree that he has millions of followers?
Yeah, a lot of whom are also Holocaust
well,
denying.
Maybe you should have fucking debated him before he got millions of followers and debunked all that shit then.
I mean, it's been debunked excessively.
That's nice. The problem is that when you have somebody who's very charismatic, right, who's able to articulate their points, and you believe that they're and like why you would allow them to accumulate a massive audience and just let it go unopposed, that just seems stupid to me. But whatever, you guys can do what you want.
Does he like do call-in things where you can just call in and talk to him? I've never checked out his channel. I don't know if that's even an option.
No, but he takes on debates from people all the time. And he's in X Spaces all the time, and he does allow people to come up and challenge his views in those X Spaces. And it's like, that's the thing. I remember talking with Doc Avi about this, and ask yourself, you know, both of those guys are Jewish, right? And both of them enjoy debating that issue. And they enjoy debating that issue because they feel like they can debunk 99% of the resurgence of that idealism. And so they nip it in the bud. You know, fucking leftists are so stupid. They're just like, oh, no, we'll just ignore it and hopefully it goes away. And it's like, okay, well, how'd that work out for you? Not so well.
So if you want to get back to the hypocrisy thing, I think I do have one question, and it's partially in jest, but it's because I really know like 2 clips of you, like, and I think they were talking about the lesbian you wound up talking to, right?
Chuck.
So yeah, is it Charlie?
Yeah, Chuck.
So the partially in jest, kind of actually interested if this is maybe a example of hypocrisy. Do you lick sniz?
Why? Even if I did, that still wouldn't be hypocrisy. She's a lesbian because she's a female dude. Within my world, because within my worldview, homosexuality is wrong.
Why is it wrong?
Well, it doesn't matter. It'd be irrelevant why I thought it was. A hypocrite has to be espousing.
You don't want to justify it.
Hang on. Stop, bro. Stop. When you claim that would be hypocrisy is not doing a thing and then telling somebody else they can't do that thing. That's not hypocrisy. Otherwise, if I told my kids not to smoke and I smoked, I'd be a hypocrite. Hypocrisy is espousing a value structure that you yourself don't follow. So even if it was the case that I lick sniz and she licks sniz, that we both do this, that would not violate my value structure, would it?
No, but it's a hypocritical stance to hold.
That would not be a hypocritical stance if it didn't violate my value structure, bro.
Then would you validate it to me or justify that?
Why? It doesn't need to be justified in order for you to agree that I hold it.
I'm saying for it to not be.
Do you agree I hold that value structure? Yes or no?
And I'm saying that's hypocritical. Yes.
How could that be hypocritical?
Because it arbitrarily chooses what actions one can do and one cannot do.
That's not hypocrisy.
You are.
So you just don't. Maybe you just don't know what the word means. But if you can show me that I don't hold that value structure, and that I'm violating that value structure, or that I do and I'm violating the value structure somehow on purpose while telling other people to do thing X, then demonstrate that. But if not, asking me to justify it's irrelevant. You just have to agree I hold it. You just have to agree I hold it. That's it.
Okay. Is this better? I agree you hold a hypocritical structure regarding this.
Well, that's not, how would that be hypocrisy then?
Well, then, okay. Is it fair to say that?
Well, first of all, how do you hold a hypocritical structure? What does that even mean?
I don't know. You're the one calling it a structure. So,
yeah, structured worldview.
Can I, is it just, okay for me to ask if you could explain why one is wrong and one is okay?
No, it's not. First, you have to demonstrate how it would be hypocrisy if you agree I hold the view and then I'm not violating the view. How could that ever be hypocrisy?
Okay. If I were to say, I think that view is incorrect and hypocritical. Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. But you agree I hold it.
When you respond to me, is it fair just to ask for you to justify that there's
no, it's not. Do you see what I mean? Like
what,
this is such,
why are these not? Why
because it's what you're talking because it's incoherent nonsense. What about the view? What about the view would be what about the view is hypocritical? Are you saying I don't hold the view or I do hold the view?
I'm saying you hold a view in which I cannot distinguish between these two agents and why they can or can't do this thing.
Who cares? That's irrelevant. Whether you can see it or not, you'd have to explain how I'm violating the view. Otherwise, there's no hypocrisy. Do you understand that?
So
I need. Hang on. I want to. We're just going to speak past each other forever unless we get this cleared up. We get these semantics cleared up. What is a hypocrite?
I mean, basically, you're affirming a contradiction in like.
No, that's not what a hypocrite. No. Look up the definition of a hypocrite real quick.
Okay.
I think words generally have a semantic range, and both saying, criticizing someone for licking sniz and being yourself somebody who licks sniz is definitely something that could fall within the semantic range of the term hypocrite.
No, it can't. Unless it was a value structure or some kind of belief structure which was being violated.
Well, the belief is that licking sniz is somehow bad when one person does it, but it's okay when you do it.
Yeah, so if you held that belief, right, and espoused that belief, you could not be a hypocrite. You see how that works?
Okay. So, such as criticizing others for being late while always being late themselves, okay? Now, in this situation, one person is late and they're criticized for it. The other person is late. They don't criticize themselves for it, okay? So the question is, in this situation, these are clearly like cases, right? So what's the distinguishing factor that makes these other two cases unalike?
Because it's a belief value. So you can't, you could claim that I'm wrong. You can claim my stance is not justified. You can claim that I'm incorrect, but you can't claim hypocrisy unless I don't hold the belief. Unless you're saying I don't hold the belief.
Well, so then I asked you if you could justify how those cases are not.
Yeah, that's a different question. Justification for the belief is irrelevant. You would have to show that I don't, because you'd have to show I don't hold the belief. That's the relevant part.
No, I'm trying. I'm conversing with you, and now I'm just asking if you could give me a breakdown of the justification for that.
No, fuck off. You don't get no justification for nothing until you figure out how it is that I'm a hypocrite first.
Okay.
So welcome TBS, and real fast, there's a couple super chats. Jessica said, "Those damn lefties, they keep advocating for democracy, peace, and equality. Damn them and their passion for justice and their intellectual honesty." Thank you, Jessica, for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. And then Gretchen says, can't read. Golf.
Yeah, I noticed
nobody Empire, great point, nobody.
I noticed she moved off the point real quick that she disagreed with me on any of the dating stuff, though, huh? She moved off that fucking shit real quick, didn't she? Because she didn't disagree with a damn thing I said. She agreed with every point. It's really funny because this is always what happens. You start talking to women about, you're a monster, blah, 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 blah. And then you give them the view and they're like, oh shit, I actually agree with that. I'm just retarded. And I'm like, yeah, you are.
And then Jessica with another comment says, Andrew I cannot read today. Andrew is as bad at philosophy as he is at politics.
Well, we haven't even gotten philosophical yet. So, but I wouldn't expect you to know that. You're just a woman.
And welcome
Just a woman.
And we do have one more in back, Pseudo Shock. What's up, Pseudo Shock?
So one of the things JL said before you came up, Andrew, was that you have at some point claimed that during a grape, if a woman orgasms, it's technically not a grape. Or well, I don't remember exactly what the phrasing is, but do you know what he's talking about?
Yep,
and do you care to comment on it?
Sure. It's a total hoax. It was a debate that I did with Oliver, where I was doing an internal critique and showing him that if he held the view that he held, right, then he wouldn't be able to say that a woman who orgasmed during SA would be SA'd. It was an internal critique, and the clip that went viral was me mocking him. And you can literally hear the mockery in my voice as I say this to him. And he dishonestly clipped it and shipped it. And I even asked him about it, and he said, well, you deserve it because you're a bad guy. He even knew it was a lie, and he didn't care.
I mean, there's a couple super chats real fast. Fuck It Button says, wow, Andrew, you can't hold people accountable for what they say as they try to hold you accountable for what you say. Smoky Man bad.
I know, it's terrible.
And then Gretchen says, none of that happened. You're a fucking idiot, AW.
I know. I'm terrible. I know. Smoky Man bad. I know. But yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened with the SA thing. So that was an internal critique, and I was mocking him because that's where his logic led. And he dishonestly clipped it. And then a bunch of TikTokers said, look, he's advocating SA, even though I was clearly mocking the guy whose logic led to that conclusion. So,
hey, Andrew, how you doing, man?
Good.
This is Pseudo Shock. I don't know if I'm up on screen. I might be just in the back here, but I've seen hundreds of your debates. I agree with you on very few things, but as watching debate as a sport, you're very entertaining, and I think that's one thing that quite a few of the people that might be, oppositional to you don't take into account is, if you can sit back and just watch it like sports, very, very entertaining. So I'm excited to see your debate here, and lots of credit to you to coming to, all kinds of different channels and not really running from debates. Also, I did watch that debate live with Oliver, and I can 100% back up what you said. That
exactly
it was kind of a rhetorical, method. But in terms of
hang on. I just want to make sure. Do you guys hear what he said? He watched it, so he actually watched it. Unlike the people who criticize me, who don't take the time to watch any of the things that I do, like our buddy JL over there. You're a hypocrite. Can't point out the hypocrisy. Right, you advocate for SA, right? Never watched the clip, so in his mind, I'm a bad guy. But imagine, right? I want to show you the distinction here. If somebody came to me and they were like, "This guy JL, he's a bad guy. You know the kind of stuff that he does," I'd be like, "What?" They'd say A, B, and C. I would actually go look. That's the difference, right? I would actually go look. I would give you the benefit of the doubt. I'd actually go look and see if that's true. And if it wasn't, I'd be like, hey man, you're full of shit. Why are you spreading a bunch of lies?
It is a valid point. I think with how much there is on the internet, it's difficult for people to invest the time into everything. So you have to be.
Oh yeah, but they can invest a lot of time in talking shit. I don't know how you can invest 30 minutes in talking shit about me, but you can't invest 30 minutes in going and checking and seeing if what you're saying is true. That's interesting.
And to be fair, I did see your video with Rob Knorr earlier, and that came out today, right? And so I saw you had a response on that, right? And Jessica was saying, Andrew, you and nobody were just discussing the relationship between doing and being within the context of particular propositions. That's philosophy. Thank you so much for the super chat. And we did hit goal, so hang on for a second. Gol
de Mexico.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for me coming on here and boosting up your donos. You're welcome.
They do hit the goal every day, but I'm sure you dragging some of your audience over has helped. So I would objectively say that's not the case. So.
I have seen a few people from your side coming over and asking some questions and stuff.
Well, the Crucible's good like that. We support people who support us.
Can I ask you a question?
Andrew? Oh, sorry.
Andrew, you're a Christian, right? Can I just ask, like,
God.
what's the condition?
I'm
for
not. I have
receiving-
zero interest in a God not real though debate today. Thanks.
No. I'm a Christian too. I just wanted to ask you, what's the condition for receiving eternal life?
Oh yeah, I
Is
don't
it
care about
faith
it. I don't
alone, or-
care about any of that. I'm here to listen to the criticisms, the lies and criticisms, and respond to them. I'm not interested
care
in
about
talking
that? How
about.
is that-
I'm not interested. Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't care.
Wait. Are you a Christian or not? How do you not
Yeah.
care about that?
Yeah, I don't because I don't care to discuss it with you. Go talk to
TBS is a Christian, Andrew.
Go talk to your go talk to your priest. Go talk to a priest. Go talk to a priest. I don't care.
Just to show that I am capable of being impartial, Andrew, I will tell you that is astute because Toronto is full of it. Oh man, he'll just ramble on and on.
Okay, but I'm just wondering, like, how I don't understand. If you're a Christian, don't you want other people to go to heaven? Don't you want to explain how we go to heaven?
Yeah. I just told you I don't want to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the stuff that we were discussing before and my positions on those things. Not here to get diverted into some fucking debate with a dumbass Protestant. So you can go spurg. You can spurg somewhere else or not spurg somewhere else. I don't care, but that's not what I'm here to talk about.
I wasn't spurging. You're the one spurging right now, bro. Like, I just asked you a simple question.
What? Yeah, and remember how I told you to go fuck yourself? I'm not answering your questions.
Wow, dude. Wow, very Christian of you, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm glad you think
Andrew,
so.
I've got a question for you. So
it's fucking why do you fucking people think you're entitled to something from me? Like, fuck off. I told you what I'm here to talk about. It's not that.
That's your question.
Yeah, I just the question.
You're a Christian, you should be able to answer.
Just the question. Just fuck off, bro. We're trying to have a discussion about something.
You identify as a Christian.
Bro, shut up, bro. Stop talking.
Anybody can opt out of any discussion they want. TBS, come on.
Yeah,
so Andrew, I've got a question for you. TBS, hold on. Let me get in here, man. So, Andrew, I've heard a little bit. I've seen you on Piers Morgan a little bit talk about Christians and facing.
Do you guys want to talk about the dating related stuff that I was being criticized for and being mean to women or not?
I actually had a question about it.
I think you might find my question interesting. Let me ask the question, and then if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. But
it's not going to be interesting. It's going to be some bullshit about fucking trying to move me into a Christian debate, which I'm not here to do.
Man. This is perfect, man. I feel like I'm in the arena with Andrew Wilson. So, Andrew, just in terms of Christian nationalism and putting it on the stage of real politic, where it's got to meet that, it's got to bridge to that point, correct? So, my question for you is that most atheists, most people are pluralists, or kind of, for the most part, it's cool. Do what you're going to do. We're all going to live together and get along. But when you're pushing it a step further towards Christian nationalism, aren't you in a sense now putting your belief structure and your worldview up on the stage to actually have to defend, and have debates on what your worldview is, and be open to people that are going to criticize it just like they would any political topic?
Sure.
And you're completely okay with that, because that I don't know if you agree with my premise there, that for the most part, it's kind of, it comes up here and there. There's people that are assholes, but for the most part, we live along, we get along, do your thing, whatever, man. Right. But
not right. No, there we delineate. No, I don't think that's the case.
So do you feel that Christians are, like I remember, the thing in LA, you were talking about Piers Morgan.
You see how this has nothing to do with the stuff that I came on here to defend?
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to talk about it,
just say you don't want to talk about it.
You're leading it towards some other bullshit that I don't care about. Can you just, whatever the point is, can you make it quick, dude?
Nope, I'm good. I said you don't want to talk about it, no problem, man.
Can I ask? It's to do with the question.
Because otherwise this shit gets derailed. Like, I don't mind having those discussions. You know what I mean? But I was invited on here because somebody was talking shit, and I wanted to see if they actually they were the one who had the evidence for their claims. And as usual,
I mean,
no.
I've watched a shit ton
no.
of debates that you've had with Alex on playing with fire that might dip into that hypocrisy. But you know, I can't pull them up offhand, so I don't know how well I can back that up. But, you know, I remember you talking about body count and things like that.
I need to say something, Brojo. Right now, I'm not doing kicks and mutes right now, so just a heads up for anybody thinking that he was covering this. And
they're not gonna kick me, bro. I'm the most exciting thing about the fucking panel. What are you, stupid? He's a fucking idiot. Anyway, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. These fucking people. $25 to pick the only entertaining part of the panel. It's like, yeah, fucking right, dude.
If you have a question or comment, though, feel free to provide a question or comment, right?
Well, my question to Andrew is a combination of to do with platforming, and obviously I completely get where you're coming from in that whoever owns the platform gets to determine whether they platform a person or not. But just because they choose to platform a person doesn't mean that they're speaking to sort of like government censorship. But you were saying about what people do and don't find attractive and what society finds attractive on average at large. But what societies find attractive changes over time. So, for example, it used to be the case, and when I say over time, I'm going back hundreds of years here, but it used to be the case that people that we would consider obese by today's standards were seen as attractive because their obesity was demonstrating that they had an abundance of resources. They had shitloads of
Yeah. Okay. Well, hang on. Let's stop there. Demonstrate it.
So how do you want me to demonstrate?
With some type of proof or evidence would be nice. That fat women were considered more attractive than women who weren't fat.
Actually, I was more thinking about fat men, for example, like you know, the fact that Henry VIII was massively.
Well, there weren't. First of all, hundreds of years ago, there weren't that many fat men.
Yeah, I know that. This like accruing that kind of resource, so that long ago in history would have been much more difficult than today. But it's more how, like, citing the what people find attractive in the social context right now, but obviously the conversation that we have informs the social context and can change it over time.
No, dude, this is all wrong. First of all, no, attractiveness is not just a social phenomenon. Okay, it has to do also, like, don't you believe in evolution? Don't you? You're an evolutionist.
Yeah. So just for context, I'm philosophically I'm agnostic on the existence of God, but I live my life as though I'm an atheist.
Okay, so you believe in evolution is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. So then you realize then that there's a window for women for childbirth that's not very large, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the distinction in the window between procreation possibility for men.
So it makes sense, for instance, that men are going to be attracted to women who are younger, right?
If when their objective is to produce children, yes. But
the whole reason you're wired for I'm attracted to X is for reproduction, right? It's a primary edict.
Yeah, but again, this speaks to what you're attracted to being contextual. So, for example, like if I'm a 70-year-old guy and I've already had my children and I've already raised my family, then the notion of being lumbered, like just because like an 18-year-old kid is prime fertility, that's not what I value at the time. Like, so this is why I made the caveat.
Yeah, but that's a double-edged sword, right? Because then it's like, yeah, but he may not just find anybody attractive. He's already had kids. He's already done all that, and he's 70. But if you're talking about what we would consider like the common age range for dating, it's usually not 70-year-old men.
No, of course.
And so the men who are in the dating pool, in the dating market, they're going to be attracted to younger women. And so there's going to be certain things that they're going to look for. Like, for instance, they're probably going to look for full bosoms. They're probably going to look for plump booties. They're probably going to look for wide hip ratios. They're probably going to look for those things because they signal fertility. And so that's what attraction is there for, is because it makes man's pee-pee hard. Man's pee-pee hard, then make child, right? Pretty simple.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that what I was saying before tracks? Like, for example, if a man being slightly tubby indicates that he's got an abundance of resources,
it's not. Look, I'm not saying it's an. I'm not saying it's entirely biological, but what I'm saying is that what I've noted is that, and this is almost a universal, relationships don't work out between people who aren't attracted to each other. They don't work out. So yeah, I'm sure there has been some, nothing's a monolith, right? But overwhelmingly, if you're not attracted to a person, your relationship.
I'm not going to point an exception and try and beat you over the head with it. That's completely ridiculous. I see.
Yeah. But the thing is like, look, that is the case. If you're not attracted to him, it's probably not going to work out. And there are some attractive qualities that seem to be fairly universal.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm looking for areas to disagree with you on that, but I mean,
remember a lot of these red pill guys, they're evolutionary psychologists, right? Or at least they claim they are. And so they're trying to look at everything from that prism. They're trying to look from the prism of what they consider mating and dating strategies. That's what they call them, right? These are dating strategies for mating strategies.
If you're looking to optimize for maximizing the number of children that you have, then I mean everything that you said, I have to say is fairly reasonable, and I can't really disagree that much. But I do still think that the reason that I asked about Ray's society, what society does find attractive, changes over time, is because that's a product of the cultural discussion, and we're all taking part in the cultural discussion right now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is that I agree with you that there's going to be some sociological phenomenon which goes into dating and mating, which is vastly complex, and you and I will probably never even understand, all the ins and outs of it.
Well,
but I'm also saying, but what I'm also saying is that there's some universals here too that seem to transcend social categories from just a purely biological standpoint.
Okay, and I suppose the other thing that I did want to touch on quickly, I say quickly, this could spear off. It's not necessarily why you're here now. I appreciate you came to tackle being accused of being a hypocrite, but something that you said whilst dealing with that was to do with democracy and voting. Do you mind if I can ask a quick question on that?
Go ahead.
Can you flesh out what is your position on democracy and voting, and should we have a democratic system at all? And if we do have a democracy, who should be enfranchised? Who should vote and who shouldn't, according to you?
I would move towards some kind of stakeholder democracy like our founders had. Our founders were very distrustful. It wasn't just landowners. So, for instance, in many states, you couldn't vote unless you were part of the bucket brigade. In many states, you couldn't vote unless it was the case that you were a certain religion, right? The states largely left, voting was left up to them as to how they wanted to go about their qualifiers. But democracy as being a universal, I think, is fucking stupid. It just leads to power blocks and endless internal warfare and revolution, which I think is a bad idea.
The problem I have, I am, based on the conversations that I've had with this panel recently, I'm probably slightly right of center. Now, that can attract a bit of criticism, but when it comes to voting, my position is fairly straightforward in that you can't control where or who you're born to, and you're subject to the laws of a society, so you should probably have some kind of say over how those laws are formulated. Now,
why? Hang on. I'm not accepting that though. Why should you? Yeah. This is where it gets difficult, huh? Why?
Yeah, well, a why question is always like we're going to get into the position where you're going to ask me to justify a moral position, and then we're going to go.
No. I'm not even asking you to justify a moral position. I'm just asking you why it is that you think that just because a law affects you, you should have some say in the law.
Social contract.
But doesn't that just mean that? I mean. We're taking it to an extreme in one direction and the extreme in the other direction. In one direction, we end up with a dictatorship.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like for instance, I can't vote in a California election, right?
But you don't live in California. If you lived in California, then
can you answer my question?
If you don't live in California, then no, you can't vote in California.
Okay, but do you agree that California holds a stranglehold on some 70 to 80% of all the produce that the United States has, and so how they vote at the local level can actually affect my food supply, right?
I see what you mean. So you just yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. So, but does that mean that I should have like since the United States is a cultural exporter and they're essentially the policeman of the world, does that mean I should be able to vote in an American election when I'm an English
Exactly.
citizen?
Yeah, same thing. Those laws all affect you too. That's why that position to me has always been incoherent. We're affected by laws constantly, nonstop, that we have absolutely no ability to do anything with.
Okay, so let me flip this around back on you then. So you want to go to a stakeholder democracy. So to you, like, what stake should I hold that enfranchises me to have a say in the democratic system?
Well, this is the thing, right? This is where people always go off the deep end because they expect to have universals instead of localities, and I expect the opposite. So how it was originally set up is states made the determination of what the qualifications were for voting. So if a state made the qualification that everybody in that state could vote, right? Not directly vote for the president, for instance, but they could all vote for their local government or whatever. That's their business. Yeah. But if they wanted to have qualifications for that, I think that that's fine.
Yeah, I mean the system in the UK, we vote for our local representative, and our local representative is a member of a party, and that party has to have enough representatives in order to have control of the legislation. They can.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at the system there, right? You can end up with a governing body that got like 13% of the vote.
That's just that's the post system. That's just how that works.
First past the post.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like, look, I get it, that's just how it works. I understand that. I'm just pointing out to you that I don't think it's a great system.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of you not wanting universal suffrage, you haven't stated what your criterion is for the stakeholders. Yeah. I did. What did I say? I said I would leave it up to who? Well, that's not your criterion. That's basically
that would be that would be my criteria. I don't know why it wouldn't be my criteria. Whose criteria would it be if it's not mine? Is it some other guy's criteria? Or
well, if you're going to defer to someone else's judgment, why would you say that universal suffrage is wrong?
Oh, wait a second. That's really weird. Let me get this right. Are you familiar with the 10th Amendment of the Constitution?
No.
Okay. The 10th Amendment of the Constitution says that the powers which aren't delegated to the federal government go to the states prospectively.
Okay.
So our founders deferred to the states so that they could, inside of their own states, govern them correctly by putting in those types of qualifications.
But who gets to be the authority in the states if it's not democratically elected? Who is that?
Hang on. Yeah, sorry. The states themselves, prospectively, are going to set their legislative body however they see fit because that's their duty.
No, Andrew, we currently have universal suffrage in the United States, and those bodies, those states, those governing bodies of the states are elected by universal.
Well, first of all, you don't have universal suffrage. Hang on, you're wrong. Your voting rights here are affirmed in the negative. There is no right to vote, actually. There's only a right that if a vote happens, you can't be barred from voting. That's actually what we have. Which is that's not actually the same as universal suffrage. So you're actually incorrect there.
Yeah, but can I? My question, Andrew, to you was what if you in your system you get to build the system and democracy is part of it. So if you were to build a democratic system and you yourself are the person who determines who is enfranchised and gets to vote and who doesn't.
Yeah, but why? I don't understand. I don't understand why you're not getting this. Yeah, but I don't understand why you're not getting this. It's still not universal suffrage if the states are the ones who are setting up the criteria that they want for various qualifications. So what you're asking is for me to give a universal determination. You're saying what should be the specific criteria for every man and woman to be able to vote. Yeah. I'm saying to you that that's not the criteria for the system I'm advocating for at all.
Well, it seems to me that you're just passing off that decision to somebody else.
Just like our founders. Yeah, I know. Just like the founders did. Those pesky founders passing off the decision to the states to be able to rule themselves prospectively based around the Articles of Confederation, which was the Great Compromise. Those fucking idiots.
But that was a representative democracy. We're talking about who has the vote to, who has the right.
Well, it was a representative republic. It had some democratic elements. That's true, but I wouldn't say it was a representative democracy.
I'm still not clear on who you would disbar from voting and why.
This is what I'm trying to get to. Like, if
I don't understand. Can you steel man my position?
Yeah, it seems to me that you were happy to have some kind of stakeholder government, but not universal suffrage, and you would say that the people have the right to determine who can vote.
No. Okay, you're not listening. Can you tell me again what the 10th Amendment is? No, you're not fucking listening, dude.
No.
So I don't know what to do with you. You're just not even listening to what I'm saying.
I mean, John, do you hear what he's saying in terms of who he would and wouldn't allow to vote?
Well, no, this is where I'm a bit confused. Like, it seemed like a very simple question. My question was, in your ideal system, like, say, for example, if you turn around and said to me, well, if you're eligible for the draft, then you get to vote. That would be a very simple and concise answer to the question.
Yeah, I know, because you dumb fuck, dude. I can't with you fucking people. I literally just got done telling you 15 times. You don't need universals for this. Who's confused about what I just said? Raise your hand if you're confused.
But yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm confused here.
I'm a bit confused.
Okay, so you're confused by the following statement. I don't need to give you universals for there to be a 10th Amendment where states can themselves decide who can and can't vote.
But the state is a democratic bureaucratic body that's making a determination about whose vote is counted.
Yeah, and they can make a bureaucratic decision about who gets to vote, can't they?
Okay, now I'll bite all of that. Yeah, fine. That the state gets to decide who turns up to vote in a federalized system. The federal system doesn't get to tell the state who they get to enfranchise in their.
Well, right now they do. No, right now they do. That's the problem.
No, I'm saying
right now, there's constitutional amendments that do go in and tell them who they're allowed to vote and what they're allowed to do when it comes to voting and stuff like that. And that needs to be abolished. I think that's a better system.
And real fast, there are a few super chats. Gretchen said, Andrew doesn't actually win debates. He pulls you into the basement of semantics and meta and waits for you to forfeit out of frustration. Some debate.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I literally haven't done any of that, but okay.
And then she also asked, how did you idiots let him make this about dating? Thank you, Gretchen, for the super chats. And then DeFreak said, mute non-Americans unless they say Dusty's turn. Mutes and kicks are turned off temporarily, but I do greatly appreciate the support. Thank you, DeFreak.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, anyway, I appreciate.
Tell them about God, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Anyway, I appreciate your guys' time. Very kind of you to have me on, and all of that. JL, maybe you can come up with some good evidence next time before you start talking all that shit. But anyway, hope you guys
go real quick, Andrew. I want to speak to what you came on to talk about platforming. I think that it is okay to debate you. I would be willing to debate you and have a conversation with you. And I'm not entirely against platforming you because I believe, like, we disagree on almost everything, but I believe in a method of intellectual bravery and curiosity. And that means turning over every rock, hearing over every argument, being made aware of every possibility.
Let me give you
a chance.
Yeah, let me give you a counter here, right? It's like, why would I be willing to give any of you fuckers a chance? Right? Like, it's so funny to me when you see these little panels go on and they're all talking about what they will or won't do. It's like, dude, shut up, you coping fucks. The thing is like, why should I give you a chance? Your platforms benefit with me coming on. I don't fucking benefit from your shit. You know what I mean? Well, and I'm not talking about you specifically, right? I'm using a generality here. Yeah. I just think it's fucking hilarious when these fucking coping 2-viewer Andys are like, I would never platform that guy. And it's like, yeah, and that's why you're a fucking 2-viewer nobody, fucking idiot. So, the platforming conversation, as far as that goes, I think it's hilarious. It's like, who cares if you platform me or not? The favor's being done for you, not for me.
I think everybody should be open to conversation. I think that's important. And
it's also part of my
And by the way, hang on, I just want to point something else out real quick before I go. So every guy here heard what I just said and was like, okay, actually, that kind of makes sense, right? You may not agree with it, but you're like, okay, that makes sense. That woman in chat, her head just fucking exploded, dude. Guarantee it. Her head, the fucking brains are all over the wall. It just exploded. I can hear her seething from here. Who does this guy think he is? Who the fuck did this guy? I'm just saying. Guarantee it. But anyway. I enjoyed the convo.
Andrew, I said it before. I've seen hundreds of your debates, and there's been a few that can hold up. Destiny does fairly well. I've heard you concede to that, but this is the one place that you'll actually get arguments and syllogisms.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm familiar with the channel. I've been over here. I've debated on Taco's channel a couple times.
Do you consider Marte your best friend?
Oh my god, dude! I consider you a homosexual. But anyway, have a good night, guys. Take care.
All right,
have a good one, Andrew.
Looking forward to Monday. It'll be fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just to reiterate what I said earlier, and I know most here will disagree with it, but if you listen to Andrew long form, he is looking for a debate. He wants arguments. He wants to get into the epistemology. He gets mad when he gets bullshit.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've watched a bit of Andrew's content as well. I do think so. Some of the stuff that's said about him, I think, is people calling him a fascist and a Nazi, and I think it is way too far. But I do find something that all I wanted was in your ideal system, who do you think should be allowed to vote? And I got, well, the states should decide because of the 10th Amendment.
He wouldn't give that, John.
He wouldn't give me
He wouldn't give that. He dodged that completely.
And I would I even give the example of, okay, should you, if you're eligible for the draft, do you get to vote? If you own X number of acres of land, if your property's worth this, there are loads of potential answers. And I wouldn't, I don't think I was genuinely confused. Like, that seemed like a pretty straightforward question that had a straightforward answer.
This is a huge issue that I have. I agree with you completely because, in terms of morality, which is often where his debates go, he's going to talk about, we don't have to go there, but like trans issues and having to use pronouns. He's going to call that a lie and being forced to tell a lie, right? Well, a lie of omission is also a lie, and soft selling on things like Christian nationalism, where you won't go into the details, right? You won't talk about the level of force that you're willing to use or who you're willing to disenfranchise in terms of the vote.
And part of what he said
and you're 100% right. He dodged.
And something that he pointed out, which is completely reasonable, and what I conceded, which was, well, yeah, of course, like the United States is the policeman of the world.
All right, guys, we're back to normal. Mutes and kicks are re-enabled. Let me turn everything back on. We're back to normal banned topics. You can't talk about banned topics as normal.
States has an impact globally, but not only people who live within the United States have the right to vote. Obviously that makes sense, but we've got to draw the line somewhere. And I was just asking Andrew, where the fuck is your line? And he wouldn't give me the line. So.
No, and also, hey, Gretchen.
Well, he fucking, as soon as I get up here, he fucking takes off. What the fuck?
That's always the way.
Because he's a bitch. That's all he does. He fucking ties you up in the meta and the semantics and the bullshit. He doesn't actually anything with ideas because he's a bitch.
It's hell diving. It's hell diving. It's trying to push you into an area where you're going to end up if you just keep trying to answer his questions in a infinite regress.
No, and I do want to point out, it seemed like Andrew was looking to defend his views from slander. Yeah. And not go into like the Christianity and whatnot, and so he seemed to be focused more on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Tucker. He came here with a goal in mind, and he wanted to focus on that, which again is reasonable. It's his time; he can spend it how he chooses at the end of the day. So,
I just get the sense that someone told him people are chatting shit about you in there. You want to go and defend yourself.
Oh yeah,
but I
happens.
don't think we were chatting shit.
Jail's
we were having
unmuted
a
there.
discussion about.
I had Jail muted because he had a TV on in the background.
Well, that just shows his.
Oh, he still got it.
Going to show up here to defend himself because someone's talking shit. Because as far as I know, the internet, people talk shit about him 24/7, and he doesn't.
Yeah, of course. He needs a 36-hour day and a 10-day week if that's what his objective is, because there's not enough time in the fucking world to deal with that. Yeah.
Making an inaccurate argument is supporting your opposition, and I mean, I'm sure it's debatable, but most people have seen the clipped up version of that debate with Oliver, where he seems to be advocating for people enjoying being raped, and it's just not accurate. It's probably a debatable bad faith method to try to bring up an extreme hypothetical.
I mean, I'm not,
but that was what he was doing with that. He was not advocating for that in the least. It really does not seem that way when you watch Long Form.
If somebody told me, I'm not familiar with that debate, but if somebody told me that he was in earnest advocating for SA, then I would have treated that with a deep degree of skepticism. And I don't think it's a little bit like if somebody's having if somebody was having a conversation about like a sexual kink, or a fetish, and then they're equating that to somebody actually being SA'd against their will. They're not the same thing, and to equate the two is insane. So I would have, if anybody was to advocate, or if somebody made the claim of anybody, even somebody who I thought was a reprehensible and evil person, that they were in earnest making a case in support of SA, I'd be like, that doesn't seem right. Do you know what I mean? That's got to make people a bit suspicious, surely.
It's a common technique that he uses. Some examples off the top of my head, he'll talk about, he'll ask you, would you support two brothers being in an incestuous relationship, relations with a dead person who gave consent prior to dying? And you just can't answer these questions. Sorry, what's that?
Oh, nobody in Fire disconnected, so it's saying take it easy, man.
Yeah, I mean, to me, some of those arguments are a bit sort of like, they're not reductio ad absurdums. But you can ask the question to drill down into, and you end up at a point of absurdity. And the question being asked is so far removed from the topic that you were originally discussing.
Well, John, you don't necessarily end up at a point of absurdity. The issue is that people often have an intuitive sense of what's right and wrong with those questions, or why one ought to do something. Like Andrew actually did this to you. He said, why ought someone have a right to vote? And there is a ready answer for that, but most people don't have it. But they intuitively have the idea that, yes, of course, that seems sensible.
It didn't make sense to me as a question, because I said in a democratic system. If we're not dealing with a democratic system, then who gets the right to vote is fucking irrelevant, isn't it? So I've already conceded that everybody has the right to vote.
Qualifier.
And the reason why is irrelevant. Yeah.
Exactly. But the answer would be, well, Socrates defined this as, in terms of the social contract. We have an obligation to the state in the same way that the state has an obligation to us. And in a democracy that we almost have to act particular ways. But there are other things like the brother question. There are ready answers for that aren't really on the tip of people's tongue. Like, yes, there is a problem with that, because it would affect other people, not just them. It would affect society as a whole. It would affect their parents. It would affect their other siblings. It might affect them. There wouldn't be an equal dynamic between them because they are brothers. One of them might be taking advantage of the other one. All of these things could be taken into account as why this is a morally reprehensible thing to do, or not, what your position be. But people tend not to have those ready answers. And if you don't have those ready answers for questions like that, people see that as a gotcha. You can't answer me. So, well, yeah, I could if you gave me a minute.
Well, yeah, I've paused to seriously consider the question, and that somehow indicts me why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask him, which I didn't get the chance to, and it wasn't really relevant to this, I appreciate he did come here for a specific reason, but something that he seems to say regularly is that a right is something. How does he phrase it? A right is a right with no corresponding duty. But I would suggest that a right, for example, the right to freedom of speech, the duty that corresponds with that is for me not to suppress somebody else's speech.
Yes.
And the way I suppress somebody else's, not suppress somebody else's speech, is by doing nothing. So my duty that corresponds to that right is to actually not fucking do anything.
Yeah. I mean, rights are duties because you have to uphold them for other people.
For other people.
Hey, bring that chick back up. The one whose head exploded.
Gretchen's right here.
I'm right here.
So, Gretchen, what did you disagree with me about on the dating stuff?
That we were talking about it at all, because
Why?
that wasn't the issue. I don't know how you made it the issue, but you did. And
well, what was that guy? What was that guy's complaints about me? His complaints were that I advocated for SA and that I'm a hypocrite. And these are both of these things are relational to what I'm advocating for and talking about in these dating shows, right?
And I don't even give a shit. No one ever mentioned dating shows, but you.
And
because that's where the relationship is within watching the clips, right?
You were grossly misogynist. That you were anti-woman.
Yeah,
I've heard that before. I'm willing to hear out, Gretchen. How am I a hypocrite?
I didn't call you a hypocrite, did I?
Oh, so you don't think?
Because you're a shitty debater.
Okay, but you don't think I'm a hypocrite?
I think a case could be made that you are. Sure. I think nobody on fire was on.
So what is?
Proving
so
that.
what is that case that you would? What is that, Cam?
You pulled nobody on fire into a stupid semantics thing. Like you had to go look up the fucking word hypocrite or some shit.
Yeah,
and
I know.
That's not what you were.
Words mean stuff.
Yeah, I'm an actual linguist. I get that, but you don't get to use that to.
So what's the case? What's the case that I'm a hypocrite?
Again, that wasn't my claim.
So then I'm.
Was it?
Hypocrite.
Did I call you that? Is that what you want?
I'm just asking if you.
Want
I'm asking you. I'm asking. Do you think I am or not?
Want me to support JL's claim now? Because I'm not going to.
I'm asking you a question. Do you?
I'm completely agnostic on it. How's that?
Okay, so you don't know. Okay, and do you think that I advocated for SA?
No, I don't.
Last one here, which is
video on
am I a misogynist?
You appear to be one.
What?
How's that?
I appear to be what?
A misogynist.
Oh, okay. Can you tell?
Either that, or you're a grifter who's just benefiting off of alpha male culture. And if you say you don't know what that is,
can you tell me? Can you tell me what the grift is? Oh, can you tell me what I'm lying about?
Are you making money by all these appearances and debates? Are you?
Sure.
Yeah, you absolutely are. That's the grift. It's the same thing with fucking flat earth grifters.
Well,
same
wait.
Same fucking thing.
Is a grifter? So is Taco a grifter?
No, but if you're not an alpha male, but you're making money off of them, isn't that a grift?
Dan, when have I ever claimed? And why do you think that people who follow my content think they're alpha males or even believe in alpha? How did you ever come up with this?
Really? Really?
Really?
We're gonna pretend like reality isn't a thing.
There is
no alpha male culture. You don't know what I'm talking about. The manosphere.
That's not. Yeah. So what I asked you specifically is, when did I ever claim I was an alpha male? When did I ever, and when do people who follow me claim that they're alpha males? Or hang on, almost done. Or hang on, hang on. Or even believe. No, yeah, you can't even let me get it out, huh?
No,
I was almost there.
Fucking lie.
Well, what am I? Okay, so what's your evidence for any of this? What is it?
All of it.
Which is what? How about any? Can we just start with any?
I'm not going to go cruising across YouTube to find video evidence.
Well, wait. I thought so. Your mind has been made up, and you can't. Okay, what about just off the top of your head? Any evidence, or you just made it up? Did you just make up a whole narrative for no reason?
Right, because I'm the first time you've ever heard this. Sure.
Well, the thing is like it is interesting to me. There are some people who say this, but every single time they're challenged, they never have anything. So can you just demonstrate any of this, like the claim that I've ever said I was an alpha male, or that my followers think they're alpha males, or that they even believe in alpha hierarchies?
Yeah, I'm not following you down that fucking rabbit trail. It's just not happening.
So you don't have any evidence of that at all, right?
I could go find some.
Go find some.
I'm not going to do that.
That's because there isn't any to find.
You're
did it ever occur to you that maybe you're just wrong about me?
Yeah, it has occurred to me.
Yeah, so
I decided that I was correct.
Like maybe you're just wrong. And don't you think that you having a complete and total lack of being able to cite any example of any of this might lead a rational person to the conclusion that you just could be wrong, right?
I'm wrong all the time.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
I don't have a problem being wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Have you been drinking tonight, by the way?
Never.
Yeah, so yes, you've been drinking.
No, I have not.
Nothing? Not even a glass of wine?
Not even a glass of wine.
Okay. All right. Well, look, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Dr. Pepper and Marble Ice. That's what I subsist on. So.
What, alcohol?
Diet Dr. Pepper and Marble Ice has alcohol in it? Fuck off.
Oh, no, I thought you were saying that you subsist on alcohol. I just misheard you.
No, I said.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I was wrong there. I misheard you. But anyway, yeah, so just want to point out that every single time I've had this conversation with a woman whose head is exploding about how evil I am when I actually question them on it.
I never said anything about how evil you are.
Well, I guess not. You just seem.
I said you were a shitty debater.
Oh.
That's literally all I said about you.
Well, I just beat you in a debate. So.
Yeah,
but I just beat you in a debate. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Not about the topic she brought up, which was whether or not you're a good debater.
You completely avoided by you fucking asshole, you loser. This is why.
Gotta love the blatant ad homs at the end there.
He came back to have a discussion with me, and he basically just ended up insulting me. This is what he does. He's not a fucking debater. He's not even a smart person. He has a pre-prepared, oh, do you have evidence of me claiming this? No, because I didn't make that claim in the first fucking place.
I wanted to ask him what kind of leadership style he thinks is best between laissez-faire, democratic, and authoritarian, because I think he would say authoritarian instead of realizing the correct answer that none of those is the best. It depends on the situation. Like when I'm telling my kids to not play in traffic, I'm an authoritarian. But when I'm trying to figure out a governmental system through which all stakeholders have an equivalent say, I'm more of a democratic. You know, it's shocking to me that his political viewpoints are so simplistic.
Well, this is where my sort of the wheels for me fall off a bit, and I was struggling to get, like, I don't think it's unreasonable for us to have a conversation about who should be allowed to have a say in the democratic system and who shouldn't. So, for example, like there's been the discussion around people who are incarcerated prisoners should have the right to vote. My personal position is, whilst they're in prison and they're being rehabilitated, no. If we don't trust you to walk down the streets, then we should, like, your judgment is clearly impaired. But once you have been rehabilitated, then absolutely you should have the right to vote. The notion that somebody can have the right to vote taken off them forever after they have been discharged from prison is nutty to me.
This is hard to hear from someone who said that people that are too dumb to need a warning sign shouldn't be allowed to live.
I didn't say that. Those were words that were put in my mouth.
You did, like,
that. No. What I said is, if the warning sign is so fucking obvious
that the human race would do without.
I do not need somebody on a warning on a building, on one of my building sites, that needs the warning sign on a chainsaw that says "Don't stop the blade with your hands." That person is useless to me. Therefore, the warning label does nothing. If you need the warning label on the chainsaw that says "Don't stop the blade with your hands," you shouldn't be holding the fucking chainsaw. Somebody else should have stepped in way before that label was needed. I wasn't advocating for eugenics of any kind. And to claim that I was is disingenuous.
I didn't claim that you said you advocated for eugenics. I said you literally said the human race would be better off without those people.
Again, I didn't say that.
I believe you did.
No, I didn't.
Hey, Gretchen, can I want to tell you my view on the sidestep that he did with you on the alpha male thing. Is his bedrock is force doctrine, and men are generally stronger than women. I'm not supporting this view. I'm just kind of stating what I've heard him say. And so that's why I say that's a bit of a sidestep, is they're not going to say that they're alpha. They're just going to say that they're more capable.
Right, which is exactly how he gets away with saying, "Oh, who says they're alpha males and who says when did I say I'm an alpha male?" And I'm just not going down that rabbit trail. He wants to pretend reality isn't a thing. Fine, then he's
his style of rhetoric is definitely more likely to attract the crowd that go down the alpha male route. I think that's perfectly reasonable to say, and he wasn't prepared to engage with that, Gretchen, at all. So.
He's their fucking hero, and he knows it, and he's profiting from it. That makes him one of them. And if he doesn't believe the
part of the problem is he has a good argument about force.
Force doctrine isn't even an argument. It's just an observation that men are stronger.
It's also one of his worst arguments, and it's easily refuted.
Yeah. And honestly, I'd actually grant it, because men are physically stronger.
Men are stronger than women, right? That's why it's a dumb argument. It's not an argument at all. It's just an observation.
I would grant it from the start and make it a non-fucking issue.
I don't. Yeah, whilst it makes it is based on an accurate observation, it completely disregards the collaborative nature that exists between men and women. It's like my wife and I, for example, we're a team. We work together, and whilst it is the case that I'm physically stronger than my wife, we're force magnifiers for one another. We help each other along.
And Fuck It Button says, "This is the most pathetic panel I've ever seen to be given opportunity for their arguments. Congrats. That is impressive. Bacon is king, Christ is God." Thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Kind of a weird point at the end, and probably all throughout.
They say that about every interaction. It's just their kind of crutch that they go to. This is the dumbest person I've ever talked to and the worst debater I've ever seen.
Greatly appreciate the support. Seriously.
Christ is a fiction that evolved alongside human language, culture, biology, and architecture. It evolved from totemism, then shamanism, then polytheistic paganism to monotheistic deism and theism, and you can see the roots of this in every religion on the planet. So, is Christ God? I find it highly unlikely that Christ or Thor or any named deity is the actual God. Is there some actual deity concept behind this fiction that evolved alongside human beings that started with curiosity about what happens when we die? Maybe. I don't know. I'm more agnostic about that, but you know, it's like a major difference between the worldviews you're claiming.
Yeah, I find it shouldn't be surprising that humans seems to be built into humans that we want to find agency in everything. So much so that we build scientific institutions around trying to remove the presupposition of agency into everything in order to make technological progress. And we also have a huge number of people on the planet that believe that a God exists. Like, I'm I can't help but think that God is like the notion of a prime mover or agency, where agency doesn't exist. It's a fundamental problem with the human brain. It doesn't mean that there is actually, ontologically speaking, a God that's pushing all the buttons behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's hyperactive agency detection. It's the fact that the human brain was evolved for survival and not philosophically entertaining the best, most likely to be true set of propositions. It's trained to hear a rustling in the bush and assume it's a predator instead of waiting to find out and, you know, relocating. Because at least you're guaranteed to survive and pass your genes on to the next generation if you assume it's a predator.
Yeah, I made that exact argument a few days ago, Sims, where the hominid that assumes that it's a tiger in the bush and runs away is wrong more often, but is more likely to procreate. Therefore, we're predisposed to seek agency when agency doesn't necessarily exist.
Speaking of running away, did you guys see the way Andrew scuttled off both times I opened my mouth?
Well, you know what? He's still watching and he's still commenting. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not. So, like, I want to measure my comments. But yeah, Andrew, if you ever want to debate, be happy to debate, man. I think we could. I think we could come up with some fun subjects to debate.
If he wanted to debate, he could come back right now, but he didn't. He wanted to come argue with a girl, which is what
he wanted to come and insult me. That's all he came back for.
Yeah, the hard truth is what he's doing is he's calling us out on our own shit, right? Like, if we're skeptics, we need to be able to back up our claims. And there's, you know, not saying anybody specifically, but there's big claims that have been made over the last couple hours, and they're not well supported. And he's going to directly ask about that. And if you don't have an answer, you don't have evidence. He's doing what we're asking them to do.
Because he decided to.
He's asking us to do what we're asking them to do.
Can I?
Didn't he?
I mean,
did I get a lot of read of that situation? He decided to dunk on the woman for shit that men said to him.
Oh, no, I've seen him do it a bunch of times. He's intentionally targeting that. But, I mean, Gretchen, I'm not trying to call you out, but if you come with those claims, he's going to say, back it up, demonstrate it. What's your evidence?
Well, it seemed like we ended up in an I didn't say that off.
Yeah.
And Andrew was stating that Gretchen said something that she didn't say, and then
he intentionally misinterpreted
Andrew was saying,
something
"Will
that
demonstrate what I said."
Taco, not literal.
I think you're going to have to start a poll because a lot of people in chat are claiming Andrew Wilson just beat all 9 atheist bottoms in this mega bloodbath debate. I think you need to have a poll in the chat to see who won, the atheists or Andrew Wilson.
How do you want me to? How do you want?
That's been this question. Do you hang off Andrew's nuts?
Who is tonight's? How do you phrase that?
Just say who won and put in the name option.
Yeah. No, it's got to involve master debater, right? But there's too many people to have a master debater because it was like.
Well, not all of us interacted with him, so it'd be like
just put master debaters, but put the S in parentheses.
Yeah. Who is who? What?
Yeah, and just to really annoy the Brit on the panel, take an S out and put a Z in instead. Well, Brits, sorry, UG's here as well. Sorry, bud.
I just want to point out that I asked him a question about being willing to defend
I put his above
beliefs if he's
who
putting
is
those
tonight's
on stage.
master debater in whatever the hell those are called, master debaters, Andrew or atheist. So go ahead and put your votes up, people. Dude, I made
just rapping
such a fun song.
Sorry, Taco, go ahead.
For the mega bloodbaths. I'm so excited to I played it at the start of the show today, but I'm going to play it at the start of the mega bloodbath, and I'm going to do it from now on. I think it's so funny. It's so freaking funny.
How much of Tacos? How much of a boost did you get from Andrew rocking in? Like, what did your metrics do?
Like 15 or something. 20.
Cool.
That's it. How long was he here for?
Like 45 minutes or so. My people are more, or my algorithms are more religion based. So he's more of a debater. I'm not sure how much he's going to impact my algorithms, but like he's friends with Doobie. He's debated on the platform previously, and like he was on politics for a long time, right? Like I have an open panel. I bring up all sorts of people. I want
I doubt he was
as many debaters on either side willing to defend their positions, you know.
Well, I doubt he was gonna barrel in and change many minds, but as long as it puts some more traction on the ground for you, put a bit more money in your pocket, and it helps keep this going, that's all good for me. So
no, I mean there's a few more viewers watching, right? But I mean it's I don't know. I think we should have conversations with opposition, and he was actually opposition willing to defend his positions, right? I mean, I disagree with almost all of his positions, but it does take balls to come into a room of like 9 atheists and like.
Andrew, you know, say what you like about him. He has clearly demonstrated that he is prepared to go, you know, onto quote unquote enemy territory. You can't take that away from him, no matter what you say about the guy. So, yeah.
Well, what happens next is he just continues to run his stream, right? And he'll play music. And
I don't think he was streaming.
He said he was.
Might have been. I don't know. I don't think he was streaming.
But he'll. I don't want to say he'll demand financial support, but he'll say, "Look at everybody I just dunked on. You owe me.
Yeah, no,
you owe me for what I just gave you."
Live.
It's.
Yeah, I looked earlier. I didn't think he was live.
He's in the side chat. He's saying that he didn't announce it live, so you haven't got that kind of a kick, I don't think.
Yeah, he's bragging about his draw power.
He has got a lot of draws.
That's
true. Yeah, no, he totally does.
He should not be underestimated, and his entertainment level, if anything,
and
he's extremely fucking entertaining.
I agreed with him when he said, "Hey, I'm the one with the platform. I'm doing you a favor by coming here." I said that's totally true.
And he talks about relatable topics that are enjoyable to talk about. Like when he was talking about the dating stuff, I wanted to make a point that, yeah, being funny can help you get laid, but there's a specific type of funny. Like dudes walking around with fucking pies, pieing each other in the face and fucking spraying flowers aren't laying down pipe, man.
Oh.
But yeah, that shit's hilarious. Like it's a cooler kind of funny that chicks are looking for. But you know, yeah. It's like, I can see why he's successful in what he does.
Yeah, it's sort of like you say to a socially awkward guy, oh, you know, you make women laugh and you'll get laid, and they turn up in like a full clown costume. You're like, that's not what I fucking meant.
And Daniel says, or didn't say anything, but they bought a taco membership. They're now a not idiot. Thank you so much, Daniel Cooper. Welcome to being a not idiot. That's kind of a big deal. Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really hoping. I'm still. It might be me being a fucking idiot. I genuinely might be, but I'm still not completely. And Yuji, help me out here, because obviously it was you and I that were engaging with him on this. I don't get. It seemed. My best understanding of what he was saying is, well, the state should decide who gets to vote or not. But that wasn't what I was asking. I was like, you're the person who gets to build the system. Who, into your mind, is and isn't allowed to vote? Who's included and who's excluded from the decision-making democratic process in a system? And that
was kind of a letdown, seeing the Brits being the only one challenging him on the politics. That was kind of a bummer.
Well, we didn't come in here to upstage you or anything. It just sort of happens naturally. But sorry, Gretchen, I'm just fucking with you.
And I was being reserved because I don't want to, you know, he has a tendency to run when I show up places. This isn't the first place he's done it. He's doing it right now, listening from the chat. He'll do it later, listening to my stream. I'll drop down. Maybe he'll come back up. Thank you for having me. Tacos.
Thanks, Dusty.
Salute to the panel.
You guys got history there.
Have a good one, Dusty.
Andrew, you're a pussy, but you know where to find me if you decide not to be.
Oh, And Crucible says, "Here, dorks, Taco," or Andrew says, "Here, dorks, Taco. Good luck to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. The massive super chat, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
There it is. All right, I'll drop down. Andrew, you can come back up now.
Huge W.
Tacos. I support you platforming him, right? But the problem with
I don't understand the
debate
discussions. Like, I get his objection, like Jail's objections, but I just don't like. Andrew debated Planet Peterson on the channel previously. Made by Jim Bob is a regular on the channel. I'm very friendly with Made by Jim Bob. We're back and forth. We disagree with his position. He's friendly opposition. We are on both sides. We review each other's videos and we like make fun of each other and we have fun with it. And at the end of the week, we're like, hey, that was a wonderful discussion. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to go back and forth with your videos this week, right? Well, like, I don't understand that, hey, let's silence people.
Something Andrew said.
I know people say it, but I think everybody should have a voice, and the good ideas are going to destroy the bad ideas, right?
Yeah, and so something Andrew said, which I think is really important, I completely agree with, is if you ban people, if you censor people, and they have shitty views, and you will drive those shitty views underground, and then they will sprout up like fucking weeds all over the place.
Yeah, this is what I was saying to JL. Yeah. You need to debate these people. You need to.
Was anybody actually saying don't let him on at all?
Yeah, JL.
No, JL just said
several people were.
JL just said I didn't want anything to do about it.
No, that was before. But yeah.
So maybe I didn't hear him, but I mean, JL just said
he was recommending that I don't. Dude, I platform everybody. Like, we fight all sorts of ideas.
Well, it's to advocate for completely banning somebody. If you're advocating for free speech as a principle, then when you advocate for banning somebody, you've just abandoned your principle. Practically, it has the side effect of driving bad ideas underground. And if you can't see the damn things, they're much easier to argue against. And also, it makes you look like a fucking coward. So, like, there's no good reason to not have somebody, to not argue against somebody who you disagree with. You should always argue against somebody that you disagree with. In the same way, you always fight
even Andrew agreed that there are some people that ought not to be platformed. I just think with JL, I completely disagree that Andrew is the person that ought not to be platformed. He's way beyond.
In fairness, I think he clarified at the time. He said there are some people that I wouldn't platform.
Yes,
but I don't think he was advocating for just wholesale. There are some views that he wouldn't want to be associated with at all, even to argue against.
Since he was very vociferously telling us he's not a hypocrite, then if he's going to do it, then he ought to stand by the fact that it's doable in his view.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
massive super chat, huge W. Get something for your money, bro. This is one of those kinds of channels. You can have us say something or be muted for 100 minutes for your money. You get creative with them.
Somebody 100 minutes. It's a little excessive, but
you just get something for your money, man. This is one of those cool channels where you can do that. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think it actually makes any sense to censor people. I mean, how married to your own ideas are you if you can't let the enemy walk into your house? And
if somebody presented like a scientific model to me that points to a god, or if somebody provided a really, really strong argument with strong justifications and is backed by facts about the actual world, I think I would have no choice but to accept it. I would probably become a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or whatever position, right?
Well,
that's because you're intellectually honest. That's
I don't think I could reject something. I mean, I accept the sciences and I accept logic, right? I mean, if I had something like that push my way, and it would happen live. I have all these live. It would be live opposition in a debate.
Get wrecked, nerd. Got fucking dominated, dude.
Absolutely dominated.